What if everything you thought you knew about Jay-Z was a lie? For over a decade, one man has claimed to be the firstborn son of the most powerful rapper in the world. He's not after money. He's not chasing clout. All he's ever wanted is the truth, but Jay-Z has dodged, delayed, and denied his way out of facing it. Until now. Because after years of silence, sealed courtrooms, and mysterious intimidation tactics, the truth might finally be catching up. And the results? They could shatter everything. From Jay-Z's legacy to his picture-perfect marriage with Beyoncé. So what exactly is Jay-Z hiding? Rymir Satterthwaite was just a teenager when he first came forward, claiming to be Jay-Z's biological son. The story wasn't new to him. His mother had been telling him for years that she'd had a relationship with Jay-Z back in the early 90s, before he became a global icon. At first, people laughed it off. Another clout chaser, right? But Rymir never changed his story. He wasn't demanding money, fame, or even public acknowledgement. All he ever asked for was a paternity test, something simple, something factual. But what should have been straightforward turned into a decade-long legal nightmare. Rymir filed his first paternity suit back in 2010. At the time, Jay-Z was already married to Beyoncé, and the media barely paid attention. But behind the scenes, Rymir kept fighting, and Jay-Z kept slipping away. The Pennsylvania courts dismissed the case, citing Rymir's age. So Rymir took the battle to New Jersey, arguing that Jay-Z had ties there. Jay-Z's legal team responded with a technicality. There's no proof that the Sean Carter in these documents is our Sean Carter. That was all it took. The judge threw the case out. Rymir appealed again and again for years. And every time he got close, another loophole appeared, keeping Jay-Z out of the courtroom and away from the DNA test. But the legal maneuvers weren't the only thing standing in Rymir's way. One day, while getting into his car on the way to work, Rymir noticed something strange. There was a gun sitting inside his vehicle. He immediately called a friend, asking if he'd left it there. But while he was on the phone, cops pulled up, lights flashing, and blocked him in. Rymir says he told the police it wasn't his, that he didn't know how it got there. Luckily, surveillance footage later showed someone placing the weapon in his car and driving off. But the message was loud and clear. Keep pushing and it could cost you. And that wasn't the only time Rymir felt something was off. According to him, there were phone calls, weird visits, and quiet threats that made him wonder just how far someone was willing to go to keep this story buried. According to Rymir, his mother was just 16 when she met a then 22-year-old Sean Carter, long before he became Jay-Z, the billionaire music mogul. She was young, impressionable, and by her own account, had no idea who Jay-Z would eventually become. Their relationship was short-lived, and once it ended, she reconnected with her high school boyfriend, Robert Graves. Wanting a sense of stability for her child, she made the choice to put Robert's name on the birth certificate, a decision that, at the time, felt like the safest option. But that one decision became the foundation of a decades-long identity crisis for Rymir. Growing up, he always felt like there were pieces of the puzzle missing. Whispers, questions, feelings he couldn't explain. And when his mother finally told him the truth, everything clicked. He says the realization that his biological father might be one of the most powerful and unreachable men in the world was both overwhelming and deeply painful. It wasn't about fame. It was about understanding where he came from and why no one wanted to acknowledge it. Robert's name was the one that ended up on the birth certificate. But years later, when Rymir asked questions, his mother finally told him the truth. Jay-Z was his real father. Rymir got a paternity test done with Robert Graves, and it came back negative. That should have been the moment Jay-Z stepped in and settled it with a test of his own. But instead, he stayed silent, and every attempt to get him in a courtroom was blocked by legal firewalls. And this isn't just a father-son issue anymore, because every time Jay-Z finds himself in hot water, Beyoncé gets pulled into it too. Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's father and former manager, has reportedly reached a breaking point. Sources say he's tired of watching his daughter get caught in scandals that aren't hers to carry. From cheating rumors to shady business ties, and now this? It's not just about reputation. It's about legacy. If it turns out Jay-Z fathered a child with a minor and then dodged responsibility for over 30 years, it could blow up the Carter family's image and Beyoncé's brand in a way no PR team can control. And Matthew isn't the only one worried. The moment the New Jersey Supreme Court agreed to reopen Rymir's case was a massive shift, not just legally, but symbolically. For years, Rymir had been dismissed as a conspiracy theorist or an opportunist. But the court's decision signaled that maybe, just maybe, there was something to his claims after all. For Rymir, this was the closest he had ever come to being taken seriously by a system that had ignored him for most of his adult life. Behind the scenes, legal experts began weighing in, calling the decision unusual and significant, especially considering the star power on the other side. And for fans watching from afar, it didn't go unnoticed how rare it is for someone with as much wealth and legal firepower as Jay-Z to be legally cornered. For the first time, Jay-Z couldn't just make the issue disappear, and that gave Rymir the one thing he'd been chasing for years: hope. The court officially ordered Jay-Z to take a DNA test. No more dodging, no more paperwork games. For the first time since Rymir's allegations surfaced, the legal system forced Jay-Z to face the question head-on. The news spread like wildfire. The internet exploded with theories, sympathy for Rymir, and a wave of backlash against Jay-Z. People wanted to know, if he had nothing to hide, why run for this long? And even worse, if Rymir's claims were true, what else had Jay-Z been hiding all these years? Under pressure from all sides, Jay-Z finally broke his silence. Through his legal team, he issued a statement calling the lawsuit a decades-long harassment campaign. He claimed the allegations had already been reviewed and dismissed by multiple courts and insisted that Rymir had no real evidence to back his story. Jay-Z's lawyers also fired back at Rymir's accusations of intimidation, calling them outright lies. They claimed they actually tried to meet with Rymir's guardian, but were met with hostility and silence. But for a lot of people watching, none of this felt like a real answer. Because if Jay-Z is so certain Rymir isn't his son, why not just take the test and prove it? What was he so afraid of? The public wasn't buying it. And the backlash? Immediate. People flooded comment sections, forums, and TikTok threads, questioning Jay-Z's character, his history, and his influence in the legal world. Some even compared this to other celebrity cover-ups, saying this time, "There's too much smoke for there not to be fire." One comment read, "If this man has been asking for the truth for 14 years, and Jay-Z has the resources to make it go away with a cheek swab, what does that say about his character?" Others speculated about why Jay-Z would allegedly go to such lengths to avoid the test. Was it really about denying paternity, or was he hiding something much deeper? Now that the law is finally catching up, the entire Carter legacy could be on the line. If the DNA test proves that Rymir is truly Jay-Z's son, born from a relationship with a teenage girl, this isn't just a personal scandal. It's a potential career-ending revelation. One that could stain every album, every award, every business deal Jay-Z's built over the past 3 decades. And Beyoncé? She's once again caught in a storm that isn't hers, a storm that could permanently damage her carefully protected brand. Rymir says all he's ever wanted is the truth. No headlines, no handouts, just answers. But if this goes the way many believe it will, the truth might be a lot uglier and a lot more powerful than anyone expected. So now the real question is, will Jay-Z finally face the truth? Or will the empire he built crumble under the weight of one secret he refused to acknowledge? Let us know what you think. Drop a comment below, hit that like button if you believe Rymir deserves justice, and make sure you're subscribed because this story is far from over.